Hello and welcome everybody to my vlog series called Straight from the Belly. I know I am resuming these series after about 2 years and I hope to be continuous hereafter because I have a lot to share with you guys. I know I've been keeping a lot of things pending about a lot of things I want to tell you about things that happened in the recent times. And yeah, so I'm going to break it down as much as I can and I'm going to put it into a group of series of vlogs. And let's start with today's topic, and which is, I think, the most asked for subject, which is my entire weight loss journey. But before I get on with that main topic, I want to give you a little bit of a background to everything that happened, everything that led me to making this entire lifestyle transformation. Okay, so here goes. So as you guys know, I've been a dancer. I've been dancing for 15 years professionally, belly dancing. And even before I could belly dance, I was doing a lot of other styles. Like I was in the college dance team and I was dancing for dance companies, and I was doing contemporary jazz and hip hop and like multicultural things and events. So I've always been a dancer from childhood. So when I started becoming more and more, professional in this field, to be honest, I started to take things for granted. And when I say things, I mean my body. So it didn't happen with me being aware about it, obviously, because when you climb the ladder, as you climb the ladder, you start to get kind of casual about things, and you probably you're not very conscious about some decisions or choices. So I started to have quite a rampant lifestyle in terms of eating. Okay, so I used to be a big foodie. I still am, but just for different kinds of food now. Okay, so I used to be a big foodie where I would eat mindlessly. I know if someone looked at me, they wouldn't be able to say I'm a foodie or I eat mindlessly, but I have been that way, to be honest. But it just didn't show in my body because I used to dance so much, 8 hours a day, 12 hours a day, and doing like rigorous workouts and dancing. But then what happened is it led me to have hypothyroidism. Okay, so I gradually noticed that I was putting on weight, my skin was getting affected, my hair was falling, and my mood swings and all of those things that are related to thyroid started showing up. And obviously that it hit me that something's wrong. I went for a checkup, and the first thing they did was a thyroid test, and nobody in my family has thyroid history. Okay, so I started wondering why this has happened to me, and it didn't strike me until very much later that this was because of the lifestyle that I was leading, because I would eat out in restaurants a lot. I wouldn't have like a proper time to eat because I was taking classes so much, and I would skip my meals or ignore eating them or not eat healthy food or things that my body needs for the kind of work I do. So all of this accumulation and probably a little bit of stress, because I was at my peak at that time, with teaching and performing and things like that. So all of this probably led to things changing internally for me, and therefore I found out that I have hypothyroidism. And to be honest, I didn't know what this means initially until Some of my friends and family told me, oh my god, you've got to live with pills your entire life, you've got to take so and so pill early in the morning, you've got to do this, you have to stop eating that, you've got to stop eating this and that. And there was like this huge rock that fell on me, and I was like, are you serious? Because I can't stop eating all of those things. I've grown up eating those things. But anyway, I discussed it with my parents, and my parents were a little upset. They were like, what? Because my parents always had a clean, health history. They never had any, issues like chronic issues like diabetes or BP or, any of those common things. So I was like, oh, nothing's going to happen to me. And when they found out that I have thyroid, they were like, what are you doing? Why? What's happening to your body? But anyway, they were supporting me, and they said, okay, whatever changes you want to do, let's do it, and we'll support you and things like that. So I showed to the doctors, and they put me on this diet, and they put me on these pills and stuff like that. So that went on for quite some time, which is, I think, 6 years now, 6 or 7 or probably more. And I just went on with it. Like I gave up a couple of things that I got to know that I'm not supposed to eat. Then I started eating them again, and then I gave up on it again. So there was a lot of back and forth because I wasn't ready to change my life drastically. In fact, I think that happened because I didn't know what it means to have thyroid. I thought, okay, you just take a pill and you'll be okay. And then gradually there was this big phase of my life, which probably a lot of you guys know, where I happened to lose my father back in 2020. Soon after the first lockdown happened, he had a heart attack, and he was the fittest person I've ever seen in my life. Fit, I'm not saying that he had abs or something. He did have a little bit of a belly, but he never had any medical history, or neither did his family. Like, like I said, he didn't have BP or diabetes and things like that. He never felt sick because he always ate home food. He ate healthy food. Of course, he was a North Indian, so he did have a lot of this typical North Indian rich, food. But what I'm trying to say is that his body was very well adapted. He had a great metabolism and things like that. So no one ever thought that anything like that could happen to him. But I guess what has to happen has to happen. And what I saw during that phase when he was ill, even after getting the heart attack, he survived for 2 months until he passed away. So what I saw in that phase is that he was on so many pills. I mean, I had never seen my dad take a single pill in his entire life, and now all of a sudden he had this entire box of medicines. He used to be the one giving medicines to others. Like, he used to say, okay, now it's time for you to take this, now it's time for take this, like for my mom, for example. But he was never the one taking medicines. So when I was seeing him taking so many medicines for so many XYZ problems, I was shocked. I'm like, for someone like him who's never even fallen sick, hardly fallen sick in his life, is now at that point where he's suddenly taking so many medicines, it impacted me a lot. Like, I started thinking that this is not happening, and I don't want to be in that spot. So then after he passed away, then there was this illness with my mom. She was hospitalized, and a lot of pills came up for her as well. So a lot of this phase where I'm in and out of hospitals and I'm taking care of, my parents, and being around a lot of pills made me realize that health has been neglected in my life in the past, and I can't be grateful enough to learn this lesson, which has costed me so much. And I am so grateful that this transformation has come to me at this stage. So going through this phase made me realize that I never want to take pills for the rest of my life. And then I decided if this is my intention, then how do I achieve it? What do I have to do to be healthy and to be more mindful and things like that? And little by little, I started to ask people I knew about how the mind gets affected by food, and what happens in the body if I eat this, if I eat that, and things like that. And around December or November 2020, that's when I really made up my mind, and I said, okay, I'm going to start a new phase, a new chapter in my life once I move back to Mumbai. I'm going to set all these things right. So I got in touch with my nutritionist. Her name is Pratima Nagraj, as you may have seen on social media. I've tagged her a lot. And she then took me forward with my intention and my goals, which I'm going to talk about later in my next vlog. But what I want to say is that until that time, I really wasn't sure what I want, because I had experimented with so many things, like trying to be vegan, trying to go for an Ayurvedic diet, and trying to take Ayurvedic medicines for building my immunity. And I was basically trying to follow the trend, and you know, those things don't last. So I was fed up of experimenting so much that I decided, okay, I have to stick to one plan. And little by little, I started discovering that how I want things to be, what is my goal, and how I want to achieve it. So finally, I realized that I want to reverse my thyroid, because I don't want to live with it for the rest of my life. And I didn't even know that it's possible to reverse it. So yes, it is possible to reverse thyroid if you really, really, really are determined to do it. And second is that I want to be changing my lifestyle in such a way that I don't have to take pills for anything for the rest of my life. Okay, maybe for like something which is out of my control, I may have to, but I want to try and heal my body and myself through proper food and nutrition. Okay, this is the bottom line that I came to. Okay, and that's when I realized that, okay, with this clarity, I'm going to move ahead. I'm going to find someone to help me with it, and so on and so forth. So here it is. There you go. This is the initial stage of my transformation. That's what set me up for my weight loss journey, which you're going to hear about very soon in the next vlog. So the bottom line here is that there was a phase in my life which drastically changed a lot of things for me. And that was obviously my dad passing away and moving to Mumbai and closing my studio in Bangalore. And a lot of things just came about on me almost at the same time. So it demanded a huge change, you know, mentally and physically. And if I think about it now, I wouldn't have gone through this change in lifestyle if things were easy for me. So obviously everything happens for good, and what happened with me is that I was forced to go through this drastic change, because for the good, I suppose. And I am, like I said, this whole transformation has costed me a lot, because obviously I've learned a lesson by losing my father and seeing what's happening with my mom and things like that. So this is what I think, that until and unless you are hitting rock bottom, until and unless you're a position where you're forced to do something and bring about a change, I think it doesn't happen. You know, at least you don't get motivated to make a big change. So I didn't even have to be motivated. I was just forced to change my life, and I will start to reveal a lot more things that happened as I went through this change in my next few videos. But there you go. That is just the starting point of this entire transformation. Okay, now stay tuned, and thank you for watching Straight from the Belly. first episode of the first series of my weight loss transformation. Thank you guys. See you soon. Take care. Stay in touch. Bye bye.